This is episode 288 of How About That Cigar, recorded live at the Corona Cigar Studio. On this episode, we talk to Chris Duque about his work in cigars and much more. Please take a minute to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Now on with the show.
Corona Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar?
Well, how about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Corona Cigar Studios for episode 288 of How About That Cigar Live. Thank you so much for joining us live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on
Rumble.
And of course, if you're listening after the fact on the audio podcast, guys, thanks so much for listening to How About That Cigar. When you drive down the road, work out, whatever it is you do when you listen to your favorite audio podcast. Thanks so much for making us a part of it. And click on all of the big, beautiful buttons, the like button, the follow button, the subscribe button, so you don't miss anything that we have going on How About That Cigar. We have a fantastic special guest coming on in just a few minutes, but I think we have to bring on our incredible, illustrious producer, Justy Smoke.
What's going down, guys?
What's up, bro?
Well, one thing not going down, which I'm happy about, is the temperature. It's actually nice out for the first time since I don't know what, like,
a while.
like no, October.
Degrees. Yeah,
It's been a bit.
Yeah, 80 degrees. You know, beautiful
80
weather.
degrees when I tell the bitch, please.
So it's been nice to not freeze our tails off. Have the windows open on the house.
garage doors open.
Garage door. Yeah, the big door on the studio is open tonight, so we can, annoy the neighbors, which is always fun.
So, you know what I just noticed?
What's that?
That I toasted this son of a bitch like you used to toast.
Like forever?
Yeah.
Like you used up half the butane in your lighter?
Look, it's almost empty. So, how you been? It's been a week.
Yeah, it's been great. Honestly, it's been a great week. Busy. Like my day job is crazy busy right now, and a lot of stuff going on, and getting ready for the end of the school year. I'm pretty sure there's less than 20 days of school left, or right at 20 days of school left in the school year. So I like it.
That means you get to spend more time with the wife.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really excited for is, spend more time with Amy, maybe taking some trips, both just her and I this summer and with the kids too. Maybe
Nice.
We'll see.
Maybe.
They behave, I guess.
I don't know. Mine are too old. I don't want to take no trips. What about you, Justy? How you doing?
Not too bad. Just hanging in there.
Yeah.
Good weekend,
Look like you trimmed up that beard a little bit. Gave it some shape.
I didn't do anything to it. It's all natural, baby.
Oh, it looks like you got the little sides up a little bit.
He's got that.
It's all natural.
It's all, yeah. It's like he's conditioned the follicles in his face to grow the right shape and the right. So
Okay.
doesn't even have to trim it at all.
Yeah. All
The beard
Let it
obeys.
go.
All right. If you say so. So let's talk about the ass whooping that the Minnesota Timberwolves put up on them whiny crybaby LA Lakers.
Oh,
The flop king, LeBron James, is never ever going to be as good as Michael Jordan or Kobe.
no. King of
flop.
James. Yeah. King flop. That's what he is. And,
Oh my goodness.
and I love that somebody made a compilation video of all the times that, Shannon Sharp said Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5.
And then Ant went on to say that in the after the game was over. So yeah, the Wolves look great. They start the series against Golden State tomorrow.
I like our odds.
I do
like
too.
our chances.
Honestly, I think we're pretty well matched teams. We have youth on our side. No, I'm not me. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves have youth on their side. Definitely not me. The Twins are, I'm cautiously optimistic. They're improving. They have won more games than they've lost by a pretty decent margin over the last 2 weeks. They're looking better. They don't look inept like they did the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. So we'll see how it goes. Yankees
Yankees are still in first place, but they haven't won a series in 4 series.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well,
And
hopefully
then tonight, fucking Judge got thrown out at home. Looked like a punk trying to slide in feet first rather than head first.
Oh,
But it's all right. He didn't get hurt.
That's all right. Unfortunately, Minnesota Wild lost in 6, 4-2 against the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
The Knights of Vegas.
I was honestly, no disrespect to the Minnesota Wild, but I was surprised they even won 2 games in that series. So the fact that they took it to 6 games, says a lot about.
But you know what? 2 of the games they lost in overtime.
That's right.
And they look better than they did all year long.
They look pretty good. The more I look at the playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, it looks like Florida is outstanding, although they're kind of getting torched a little bit right now. I don't know. Maple Leafs are good. Florida looks really good. But that game, so the Winnipeg Jets, St. Louis Blues game, the last game of the series yesterday was ridiculous. So Winnipeg scores a goal literally with 1 second left on the clock in regulation to send it to overtime.
Wow.
That's kind of special.
And then the game ends up actually, I'm not sure if that was regulation or if it was the beginning of the first overtime, because it was a double overtime game. And
how does that happen?
Rare,
Right.
especially in the playoffs. And it was just bonkers with seeing them score that goal with 1 second left on the clock to tie it, to send it either to overtime or to the second overtime. But it was insane. So I loved watching that replay. I watched it over and over again. It was fun to watch.
Let's go back to basketball for a second.
Okay.
Besides the T-Wolves hopefully beating Golden State. Or not Golden State. Yeah, they're playing
Golden State.
The other series I'm looking at, Boston, New York.
For me, it's the Pacers and the Cavs. Isn't it the Cavs? Yeah, they're playing the Cavs. Because I grew up in Indiana, so I got a soft spot for the Pacers.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see the Pacers make it all the way through, and then see the Timberwolves beat the Pacers in the finals.
Was that like back when Reggie Miller played?
Yeah. Well, even before that,
yeah.
Honestly, like back in the 70s and 80s,
yeah.
I remember going to watch the early 80s. It was like 80 or 81. Going to see the Pacers play the Celtics. So I was so lucky. I got to see Larry Bird play, and I got some of those ridiculously talented Celtics teams from back then. So I was really grateful for that. But yeah, Reggie Miller, he started in 94, I want to say. So I was still paying attention to basketball then, but by that point I kind of had already shifted to Minnesota sports, except for my beloved Green Bay Packers. But
let's get into this right here.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it.
I think Chris is getting bored.
So let's do this week's Spirit of Mystery, brought to us by Postania Cigars. Do you find yourself unsatisfied with the top 10 list from How About That Cigar? Are you wondering how cigars from Postania didn't make the HBTC list, but found their way onto other lists? Well, fortunately, you can be reminded every week with this Postania Cigars advertisement. Postania Cigars, the #1 unranked cigar in the industry. So what day is it?
Cinco de Mayo.
What does that mean?
That means it's tequila night.
So there we go in the glass.
Andale.
We have tequila.
Don't let it kill you.
That's what I should call it.
I rarely drink tequila neat, so I'm not against drinking it neat. I just the chances of me guessing this is like
just like anything else.
It's just like any thanks. Basically, yeah, it's just like anything else. It's off the charts. It smells very citrusy. Very citrusy.
Does it feel like a taco?
Yeah, citrusy, grassy, sweet, a little bit of floral. All right, here's the taste.
So while he's tasting, I'm gonna let you guys know what we're smoking.
Yeah, please do.
We are smoking Sin Compromiso because We're all three of us are smoking it because it has a San Andreas, a wrapper
From Mexico.
Mexico. So
For Cinco de Mayo.
my brown brothers down in Mexico and sisters, we're
This is
doing
very
our
good.
part. It better be damn good.
This is very good.
Ooh, Tony says that's a stiff pour for tequila. Ouch! Look out! I hear.
Yeah, it's a very
I hear Matt's clothes fall off. That's what we're hoping for.
well. You
This is
can't
gonna
you
turn into
can't
a country
see
song.
you can't see what I may or may not be wearing below the table.
Oh, the
Yeah,
panty dropper's going down.
So that's why we have this table here, because so you can't see that we're basically doing the no pants dance down here. But let's bring on
Dance off, dance off.
yes, let's bring on our special guest of the evening, and special guest brought to us by Drew Estate. And Drew Estate is proud to unveil Deadwood Dominicana. She represents a milestone for Drew Estate with the focus purely on the Dominican tobaccos inside, all enhanced by the Mexican San Andreas binder and Connecticut shade wrapper leaf with a premium sweet cap. It is available in a 4x38, 5x50, 6x50, and 6x60. Dominicana made her grand debut at the 2025 PCA show in New Orleans. The cigar has an MSRP of $6.50 through $30.50 per cigar. For more information, please visit drewestate.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, help us out. Put your hands together and welcome to episode 288 of How About That Cigar. Duque, welcome to the show, brother.
Hello, my brothers. Hello. How you guys doing?
Good, my brother. How you doing?
Good, good. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Absolutely.
You got Mexicans out there?
Yeah, we got Mexicans.
You got Puerto Ricans out there?
We got Puerto Ricans out here too.
Yeah.
Hey. Down the street, there's a truck that sells authentic Puerto Rican food. Pateles, gandui rice.
Nice.
Yep.
So, Chris, did you have some Mexican food today for Cinco de Mayo?
After this, I go down to Taco Bell.
Oh, I suppose, yeah. It's because it's not even dinner time for you yet.
Yeah, it's only like what 3:43 or something like that.
Yeah, it's early still.
Yeah.
We're getting a little audio echo.
Okay.
If you got your cell phone on, turn it down.
And the volume down.
Volume down.
Okay. Let me check.
Oh yeah.
How's
If you're watching on your
Yeah.
cell phone.
There we go.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So, brother, we are so excited and grateful to have you on the show. And I'm gonna kind of have Raul drive the bus, for a while on this one with the question. We've got quite a few kind of written on our notes, and I know Raul's already got quite a few in his head as well. But your story is a really cool one, and there's so many cool personalities and people from different walks of life and different ways that they got involved in the cigar community, per se. And your story is really cool. So we're excited to have you on, and just can't wait to learn more about, who you are and how you contribute to the cigar community around you.
So El Duque, tell us about yourself. Tell us what you did before you got into cigars. We hit a little bit up earlier before we got on the air, but tell us about yourself, and then we'll talk about how you got into the cigar business. And not the business, but yeah, it's the business. I would say it's
Business community.
Yeah, tell us about yourself.
Well, born and raised in Hawaii, Filipino by birth, Hawaiian in spirit, and actually I always joke with people, the only one that got Hawaiian in our family is my wife. She's like 1/8 Hawaiian, but she look Caucasian. That's the German Portuguese blood, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, born and raised in Hawaii. Pretty much lived here all my life. Grew up here on the streets of Kalihi. Did all kind of jobs. I started working early. Moved out of the house early. Finally, I found a niche in law enforcement, which was kind of happened by mistake. I just recently got married. Trish was supporting us, and she says, "Quit being a deadbeat, go get a job. So half her family, or her cousins and uncles, were either firemen or cops. So I applied for both. I applied for both professions. I passed the written test on both, passed the physical requirements, and just by a flip of a coin, which really what happened is that they both called me up. HPD called and HFD called. Says they want you in the next class. And I said, wow, which what I want to do, And basically I flip a coin. And they came up cops. And so when we became a police officer, and that was it. As soon as I got on a job, I loved it. I loved the job. And then stayed in law enforcement. Ooh, man. Let me see, I retired. I got in 75. Retired from that in 2007, HPD. And then the next day, I had a position open for me in the Department of Justice. I worked for Customs as one of their cyber investigators and computer forensics. And then from there, what did I do? I did a stint with them for about 2-3 years. Then I went in the private sector, was a subcontractor for Pinkerton, again, just doing cyber investigations. And then in 2017, the Honolulu prosecutor's office needed a cyber investigator and also do digital forensics for them. So I took the job, and that lasted to COVID. And then of course everything fell apart at COVID. Money ran out for everybody, all the agencies, so they had to let me go. So I kind of like retired in 2020, and I told myself, man, damn it, man, I should have retired sooner. But then people still call. People still reach out to me, and they need help regarding cyber issues, with parents, their kids, the kapunas, the seniors, businesses, attorneys, and I say, hey, I got all this knowledge and experience. To me, knowledge is not shared; it's just wasted. So I help these guys as much as I can. I help them out. Even the investigators, they need some ideas thinking outside the box. Call to me, hey, what do you think, Chris? What do you think? How should we approach this? And I tell them, again, well, if I was still on a job, this is what I would do. Things like that. Then I did some other stuff. People would say that, I did also some side jobs while I was a cop. Was a personal trainer, taught aerobics, did some stints, movie and TV, small bit parts, and so I did all kind of stuff.
Nice.
How'd you? First of all, I thought you were a smart guy, but you became a cop over a fireman. That is not very good.
It was the coin that decided.
It's the coin, but my ass.
Hey, the coin decided. I should have checked the coin.
You should have checked the coin and made sure they were both double-headed coin and took fire.
Might have been a washer, I think. I might have flipped the washer. I don't know. But yeah, it was a hard call because like when you get family gatherings, you got the cops over here, you get the firemen over here, and they're kind of like you're in the middle, right? They go back and forth, but it was. I love the job. I love helping people, and when I got in, my first 8 years was working plainclothes vice, and I learned a lot. But back then in the 70s, I was assigned to gambling, but that doesn't mean I was strictly a gambling vice cop. I worked prostitution cases, I worked drug cases, I worked organized crime cases, I worked with the intel groups. So it was good. I was very much independent to the point where that, I didn't want to go any higher. I didn't care about rank. I just wanted to be, a cop on the street. And the only thing that I wanted to be was a detective, I had this thing like, Kojak and Serpico and Dirty Harry. Guys like that, they're the guys who, my generation grew up with. Starsky and Hutch.
So when you were undercover as a male prostitute, did you have a lot of fun with that?
Oh, bro. One of the first, you were junior vice cop, okay? And they call you, they get called out. They say, hey, Chris, we need some more extra bodies. So I figured I could be walking Kalakaua thinking like, girls hit on me and all that, working girls. No, what they do, they send you into the bathrooms. You know what I mean? They send you to the bathrooms where you get the glory holes. And I'm sitting in a stall and I said, what's this hole? I know I'm naive, right? But not that naive. I'm sitting down there in a way and looking at these holes and shit. These guys would stick their things through the holes, right? And like, I remember my first experience. I took out my mace and maced the guy. Like, the guy runs out screaming. I come out, the vice sergeant said, hey, what the hell, Chris, you doing? You're supposed to arrest the guy, not mace him. Oh, sorry, Sergeant. Next time I know better.
He'll never do it again.
No, he didn't. Little education for the bad guys.
Yeah. So how'd you get into cigars? Have you been smoking cigars your whole career, your whole life, or did you pick that up during COVID?
My first experience with cigars when I was 5 years old. My grandfather was an avid cigar smoker. So he, pretty much on a daily basis, he worked at the lumberyard as a foreman. So when Paul work, finish work, they all come over to the house and they'll be smoking cigars, drinking whiskey, drinking beer. And I'll sneak over and get a taste of his cigar and his drink. And when he's 5 years old, you're not ready for that. And he said, I puke my guts out. I'm never going to smoke a cigar. I'm never going to drink. But, fast forward to my career in law enforcement. I remember going to, by then I was a detective in homicide, a detective. And one of the homicide detectives said, hey, Chris, what you doing? I said, I'm doing nothing. He said, come on, we got one death case. So I said, okay. So just before we enter the house, he hands me a cigar and says, hey, light this up. He says, just puff on it, don't inhale, just puff on it. It'll mask the smell. We went in and the deceased been there for maybe about a week or so, and it was all closed up. So it barely masked the smell, but it didn't mask the visuals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but from there on, I started smoking cigars, not only on those kind of cases, but it was a way to take my mind away from the work, but it also helped me concentrate on some thinking about ideas. Maybe a roadblock on a case, I go outside, get a cigar, light it up, sit in the park, sit by my car, sit in the garage, light one up, just think about it, go back in with it. My mind is clear, my mind is focused, and get the job done. And then as a celebration of a good, close a good case, you get the bad guy, I light one up,
That's cool.
Do you remember, back in the day, some of those first cigars that you smoked? Some of those brands back then that you were smoking.
I remember. I like the sweet ones. There was this store that used to soak it in this what we call lihimui. It's sort of sweet candy. They used to dip the tip in that. I used to smoke that a lot. Then I wanted to smoke the heavy stuff. I remember was Padron 2000, 3000. Smoked that. I like Rocky Patel Edge. And they came in a big box, right? And unbanded. I should grab that. And then the store owner, James, from the back of the wall, said, hey, Chris, maybe you guys should try this. It was a Liga 9. Oh, that's the thing that turned me on to premium cigars.
Yeah.
So after that was like Mistake Ligas, Unico series. Then I was hitting Romocraft. Though I like back then, I liked them strong, strong and heavy. Uh, not too, I wasn't too much into the Cubans, more Nicaraguan cigars.
Yeah.
Occasionally, somebody would give me a Cuban cigar. I smoke it. It's not in my wheels. Tastes good, but it wasn't in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
By the way, Chris, what are you smoking right now?
My namesake. This one.
That's the one I've been
I'm still speechless about Steve putting this out on the market. When he, I don't know if you guys know the story, but Steve messaged me one day that he asked me, "Hey, what's your favorite cigar? Dunbarton cigar?" So I told him, "No, whatever Dunbarton I'm smoking at the moment is my favorite Dunbarton." He said, "No, seriously." I said, "No, the one I smoke the most of is Silver Mesa Short Churchill, which was the first one that I really got me into Dunbarton." And later on, I'll take a little story about that. And I have the sentimental values to the Short Churchill. I like the size, I like the smoke, the flavor, the strength. And then the second one was Todos Dias. Mas Furtis was my favorite, the Short Churchill, the double white belly, the entire line. So I told him that was my favorite blend. And I said, "What was your favorite size?" I said, "Well, I love the half Churchill, Short Churchill." He said, "Okay." So I'm thinking in my own head that he's gonna make me a bunch, like maybe a bundle, 25, and just for me. I said, "Okay." Then maybe a year down the line, he calls me up. He says, "Yeah, I got this idea about year of, I hear over this year of the dragon, year of the snake." I said, "Oh yeah, okay, cool. I want to make a year of this." He said, "Oh, nice." He said, "I want to make it a year of the Duque." I said, "I'm like, well, what the hell are you talking about?" I mean, bro, you've been in the black all these years. You don't want to go in the red, I mean, but I gotta tell you, but you got the reputation of putting out some awesome cigars. I know. I said, I have no doubt that you're going to sell it, but I was worried about the reception, how well the thing is received by the consumer, because not everyone's palate is the same. And so that I had that in my mind, in the back of my head, and also that the time of day when you smoke it, sometimes you want a particular cigar to get, at the end of the day or whatever when you try to smoke. And also, I was worried about my retailer friends. It's a gamble for them because they're gonna pick up a product. No one smoked it. Okay, the only one that smoked it was Steve and maybe I think Sister Anna. Is the daughter-in-law. And I haven't smoked. I didn't smoke it. I didn't taste it until maybe after PCA. Cindy sent me my box, and then that's the only time I smoked. The first time I smoked it. But and then I was like, "Holy shit! What did he do?" Because it had all the flavors of the Sin Compromiso, a little bit of hit of the Todos Dias, and still had the strength of the Short Churchill and the Todos Dias, but not too much. But just like maybe around medium plus, maybe just a little under medium strength, full strength for most people. But for me, it was like a medium plus for me.
When's the best time to smoke it?
I like to smoke it in the evenings. Or first thing in the morning. Either one. But when I smoke this one, I want to make sure I got time dedicated to it. I mean, I'm not gonna put it down and play with the grandnephews and grandnieces, or Trish calls me on an errand, or I gotta do something. I want to spend my next 45 to 60 minutes just dedicated to the cigar. And that's any cigar I smoke. If I have a particular cigar I want to enjoy and get into, I want the time dedicated. I tell folks, smoking a cigar is an investment in time. And I'm at an age now that time is the most important asset you have. I tell you, you can't get it back. You can't save it. So you got to make use of every time, at the time. Whether you're smoking a cigar, spending time with your ohana, with your friends, you got to make every moment because tomorrow is never guaranteed. So I always joke with Steve. I said, first cigar I smoke in the day is a Don Barton because I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to smoke it anytime else, or at the last thing at night. In the way, if I go into I don't wake up, hey, the last thing I had was a very good cigar.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Okay.
So back when you started smoking cigars and you got more and more into it over time, when did you find yourself kind of becoming a member of the both in person with fellow cigar smokers, but also online, becoming like a member of the cigar community? And how did all that look when you first started sharing cigars online and talking about sharing your cigar experiences on social media, that kind of thing?
Well, got to flash back to my time in law enforcement. Back in the early 90s, I got involved in digital computer forensics, and I was doing a lot of online investigations, not only with HPD but a lot of interagency task forces. So I was doing a lot of undercover work because of my experience working undercover in Vice. It just carried over to the virtual world. So back then I was doing a lot of things on the internet, IRC, bulletin boards, chat rooms, and so forth. So I really wasn't into the cigar community at the time. I was just trolling for the bad guys, whatever cases my supervisor told me to investigate.
Yeah.
As years went down, I got into more of a supervisory position where I wasn't so much directly online, but advising the other investigators. So it was a time when I could go public, saying that, as myself, as Chris Duque, not as a cyber cop, but as a individual smoker. And then I started going to different groups, cigar groups. One of my first ones that I was prolific in was the DE group. And I started to interact with the guys. And then that led them to other groups that get events. And I got invited with events. I met a lot of great friends that I called, who are now I consider Ohana, your present company included, through social media. And, and that's the biggest plus when I tell older people that, they always talk about technology, about social media. There's some bad instances where you can get some bad elements on the internet. But the majority of the time, you come across some good people on the internet. And meeting my fellow cigar smokers, I developed some long-term friendships, guys I haven't met. And then when I got to travel, my goal was to meet these guys, share a cigar with them, talk story, and then reinforces our connection, our online connection. And I cherish all those moments. You meet some people that you sometimes you rub you the wrong way or whatever. But that's life. You will have the same experience when you walk out the door and you walk on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the world is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I met you was in Virginia, I think.
At Brett's place.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I was there. Brett, they had event, a DE event, and Brett always have a event for Cigar for Warriors, and Pete couldn't make it there, and Maddie couldn't make it there. So Brett says, "Hey, go give Chris a call." And for DE, for Juice State, Cigar for Warriors, I said, "Hey, no problem, I'm there." So I showed up at the event and helped them out at the event.
Yeah, it was fun. It was nice meeting you. As soon as I met you, I'm like, this dude's fucking cool. This dude is cool. And then then I seen you at Saka. How'd you get hooked up at Saka? How did that relationship come to fruition?
Well, me and Steve go back to when he was the boss man at DU. We knew of each other and, supported. I was a big, and still is a big supporter for Jewish State. Uh, so we go back way back then. And I used to, one of my favorite, it still is my favorite Jewish State is the Dirty Rat, so it was like, and they used to get some nickname me the 808 Dirty Rat, and we go back that. And then when Steve left, I didn't know what he was going to do. And then I was good friends with David Lafferty. And I think I ran into Dave. He had a gig at, in New York. I went up to New York. I think it was for Trisha's birthday. I took her to New York. She'd never been to New York. I haven't been to New York. So we went to New York for her birthday. And I hooked up with Dave at, can't remember, Nat Sherman's. It was Nat Sherman's, yeah. With Maddie Rock. Maddie brought me over, met Dave, and then Dave told, and I met Mike Hercrox there, and Adrian. And then after, I think that Dave told me that he was going to leave and he was going to work with Steve. So is Steve going to start a company? But then Steve had already started a company. I think it was 2018. And he told me that. And I said, oh, Dunbarton, okay. So that's when I started to smoke a lot of Dunbarton cigars. And then I went to Pura Sabor in 2017 or 2018. I think I went to both of them. And Steve was there. We was on the same plane. Flying in from Houston, I believe. Houston or Miami. And it was like, if that plane crashed, God forbid, man, it would take a hit. Because on that plane, Steve was in the front. I think Yanni and Pete and Senor Pepin was back there. A whole bunch of guys was on that flight. But anyway, we all met up at Pura Sabor, and I hung out, again too. I was a strong, studies, like I said, Jewish State fanboy. And I was on Cigar Safari, and I was hanging out with the guys. And then Steve shows up, and I can't remember that. Steve shows up after hours, and he's carrying a box under his arm. Sober Mr. Short Churchill. Okay. He's walking around giving us all short Churchills. And this is he gave us he mentioned that he had amped up the Sober Mesa, because when he first came out with the Sober Mesa, it kind of shocked the cigar community, because him having a reputation with the legal, everybody is thinking about a powerhouse broadleaf as his first line, right?
Mm-hmm.
But instead, it was a complete change. I mean, it was like everybody was kind of blown away. But a lot of people was asking, "Hey, Steve, we want something a little bit stronger." So he amped up the Sober Mesa a bit with the Short Churchill and the Encinitas, and I think one more other. And that really hit the spot with me. And after that, I was like, "Okay, I'm sold. I'm sold."
Yeah, that was the first time you and I met. Was Puro Sabor 2018.
I think that was my second one. Yeah. Did we go to the coffee farm? The first year we went to Florida Cana, and then the second one was at a thing up at coffee farm in the mountain.
No,
Must have been that one.
Because all I went to was cigar factories. I didn't go to any. So I don't know if they did that in 2017 or what, but 2018. Well, at least for me, because I was on a media ticket, so I could kind of pick and choose. And I was doing coverage for another media outlet, so I got, I was supposed to be there to be covering cigar factories. So I only went to cigar factories. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. The first time I went, I followed the program. I went along with the bus, but then I was like, okay, I want to visit all my other friends, because some of the factories weren't on the tour itinerary, right? So okay. So the second year, Rich Lai and myself is okay. We go officially. We're on Puro Sabor, But then we got asked to go to visit, so we went to the other shops that weren't on the itinerary and spent time with them.
What was your first impression of Chris?
Right away, it was like, this is, and not to, diminish the personality that Chris is and the personality that Chris has, but Puro Sabor, there's a lot of great people on that trip, but there was one night that we were at it wasn't the last dinner, but it was one of the dinners, maybe
the factory
night.
Was that the factory?
It was one of the factory dinners, and I was at a table with you and probably 7 or 8 other people, and I mean, it was a great group that was at this particular table, but Chris was just such a kind and lighthearted and fun individual that it was just all laughs and talking about our families and we didn't talk a lot about cigars at that dinner. We talked a lot about our families and our friends and what we do besides cigars with our life and that kind of thing. So it was great.
There's one thing about when you huff with your friends, is the cigars brought us together, but the topics vary and they change from different. We talk about family, we talk about our work, and of course sometimes we talk about things that's we agree to disagree, but we're still friends. We're at the table, and cigars bring people together.
Yep. They do break a lot of barriers down.
Amen to that.
Yeah, you get a lot of surprises. People, yeah, you smoke cigars? I never know you smoke cigars.
Oh yeah, it's a big bridge builder.
Yeah.
So one of the things, if it's okay if I
go ahead, you can ask me a question.
So there's a few people out there, and Chris, I count you among this group where you don't own a cigar brand and you don't work in cigar media, and but at the same time I consider you to be a cigar ambassador, and there are a few people like you out there that they post a lot of positive stuff surrounding their enjoyment of cigars on social media, and they talk to a lot of other people about their cigar journey, and they're learning about cigars on social media, and it's all about positivity and a good message and being an ambassador of premium cigars. At what point did you at what point did somebody either A, tell you that you were a cigar ambassador, or B, you just kind of realized, hey, there's people out there that are kind of paying attention to what I say about cigars and kind of gaining something from my positivity and that kind of thing? When did you first come to realize that?
Matt, I don't even think about that. I mean,
okay.
I don't even think about being an ambassador. I like to, I smoke a cigar. I like the cigar. I like the brand. I like the people behind the cigar. And to them, I consider them friends. I consider them ohana. And I'll do my utmost to help them. I talk about the cigar. I talk about the companies as much as I know about them, and just sharing the knowledge about it. And with no intention of being an ambassador for a particular brand, because, I love. There's no really any bad brands, quotation bad brands. It's just everybody's palate is different. And there's some brands that you have that I like, that I lean towards a certain portfolio, a particular cigar. Other than it, but that doesn't mean it's a bad brand or otherwise. But mainly I do it to support my friends. Basically, that's it. And if folks reach out, especially new folks, and say, "Hey, Chris, I don't, what do you think about this cigar? What do you think about that cigar?" I said, "Well, I tell them, well, you try this, and if they don't show you try this, it might be 2 different brands. It might be the same brand, but I give them options to choose, and it's up to them to decide which one they want to. And I always tell them with the caveat, that's my palate. You may not like it, it's fine. Move on, and always give it a second, third chance, because
Yeah.
you might pick up one that you may not like, but maybe it's a time of day. Maybe from a particular vendor or particular batch or whatever. Try it a different time of a day when you're in a different mood. Come back to it maybe a month, a year later. A lot of times I go back, I guess stuff, man, I guess some stuff going back to maybe I got talking to you before the went live. I'd find boxes that I didn't open back, mailed to me in 2015. And I thought, what the hell is this? And I pop it open and I said, wow, light one up. I said, oh, this thing is still smoking good. Or I find something I forgot about in my humidor. And I said, let me give this a try, guys, as well. It didn't taste like this when I first started. I said, wow, this is good. You know what I mean? So, if I see something good, I share the information.
Yeah.
If something's bad, I'm not one for post bad shit on social media. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much bad stuff out there. I don't want to add fuel to the fire. I'll reach out to somebody who may be able to correct the problem. I say, hey, you know what? I was smoking this cigar. I tried it a couple of times, and this is what happened. I don't know if the other users maintained had the same experience, but maybe you guys can look into it. It's a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Not blasted on social media. Look what happened to this. They might do it unintentionally, or they might do it in jest, but it impacts the manufacturer. It impacts the retailer.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I should clarify that I didn't ask my question very effectively, and that's my fault. But I see you as because obviously you don't work for, like full time for a cigar brand or anything like that. You don't own a cigar brand, but I see you as an ambassador of the cigar culture, not for any particular brand, but you're an ambassador of the cigar culture and the cigar community.
Yep.
Oh, I'm truly honored, brother.
Well, it's a real thing, and there's, like I said, there's a handful of people out there like that don't do media, they don't own a brand, they don't work for a brand, they don't sell cigars, they just enjoy it, and they enjoy being part of the community, and they enjoy spreading the love in the community and that kind of thing, and you're definitely in that group. So
thank you.
Yeah, it's really cool to see what you're doing.
What do they call in Hawaii the aura that somebody gives off?
Mana, the mana, MANA, mana.
You give a good mana. You know what I mean? No matter where you go, you're.
Mahalo, brother.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh,
but I got my demons. Thank God Trish is around. Kind of read. She's the one. We always joke that if she goes first, oh man, I'll unleash the dogs of war. Hell could be hell on earth. So she keeps me in check. That's
how long have you been married?
We've been together 50 November. We make 54 years together. I mean, we married 51 years, 52 years, no, 52 years. I mean, who counts when they're having fun? We've been together for about 54 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Marriage has its ups and downs, and the downs were I admit it was all my fault, but marriage is a work in progress. I tell people, you know what? It ain't gonna be no beds of roses, you gotta take the good with the bad. You just gotta work your things out,
Yeah. Roses have thorns too.
Yeah, you gotta give and take, man. Give and take.
I'm trying to think of anything in life that's truly worthwhile that doesn't have hard times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
No.
You gotta see the darkness before you see the light.
Yeah.
So besides your own cigar, what
It's not my cigar. It's Steve's cigar now. It's Steve's cigar. It's in my honor, but it's Steve's cigar. So you get any complaints, see the master ligador.
Steve.
Send Steve a message on Facebook. Not
Yeah.
It sounds like your profile is stronger cigars. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. Well, initially when I started smoking, because it was the bang, going for the bang. But then I started to appreciate the flavors, and number one, the construction. If the construction, you can't get a good draw, can't get a good burn. You can't experience the cigar. So construction is first for me, and then now it's the flavor and the balance of flavor and strength. Sometimes I'll light up a cigar, like I have been smoking an Aganoso for a while, and I got gifted one at PCA, and the other night I lit it up, and it's like, oh man, it kind of rocked me, and then the flavors kicked in. I says, man, I don't remember this tasting that awesome, like, oh, I gotta revisit this sucker, man, So I gotta go message Tim and Fabian and say, hey, what you guys did? You put some extra secret sauce over it, man. This sucker is smoking great. But yeah, I lean a little bit more toward the medium plus,
So when you go, because for the last, how many years is it that you've gone and kind of helped out at the Dunbarton booth at PCA?
Oh, shoot. Maybe 7-8 years now.
Okay. And I know you mentioned before, another thing that we talked about a little bit before we went live is, there's not a lot of time at PCA to get out of the booth and go visit with other people that you don't get a chance to see very often. So,
yeah.
Some of those people that are just like some of your closest friends, in the business, and who are some of those first couple people that when you realize, okay, I've got 5 minutes to spare to duck out of the booth and go visit a few people, who are some of those first names that come to mind?
One, Pedro.
Oh yeah.
Pedro, I gotta go see Pedro. I see my brother Pedro. I gotta go see Willie. This is the guy. I gotta see the gang at Jew State. I gotta see my brother John Huber, Crownheads. I gotta see Mike Rosales and Skip Martin. I gotta see Juan at Hoya. If I get a chance, I'll gotta see Nick at Foundation. John and so many.
Yeah.
Angela and James at Black Label.
Mm-hmm.
Henderson, Mark, Nicole at Adventura. Who else? Can I think of I always try to bring I always bring my luggage. I always pay the overweight because I'll bring some of the Hawaiian goodies to these guys.
Oh, nice.
But there's so many friends that I see that, and because to me, if Steve asked me to come to an event, contrary to what everybody believes, it's all work for me. I don't come there, and that my friends in the business, they know that. I come here for business. I'm there to support Steve. I'm there to do whatever he asks to. What the Ohana, the Dunbar Party Ohana needs to be done. Take care of the samplers. Make sure the guests, the media is taken care of. Make sure the retailers are taken care of. It's all about work. It's all about work. Afterwards, when I got free time, that's when I try to see my friends and all that. Hook up with them.
Yeah.
So, when you're smoking, what do you like pairing your cigar with?
Ice cream.
I love it.
Okay.
You
Ice cream.
Tell us more about this. Yeah, please do.
Oh yeah. But mainly it's ice cream. Usually in the evening. Try not to be during the daytime. It's like the morning. It's gonna be coffee. During the day, I get this. I use this brisk iced tea. This flavor that's raspberry. I've tried this now, strawberry. That's really good. In the evening, for dessert, is usually ice cream. But the ice cream shouldn't overpower the cigar. What I like about the ice cream, it's I'm a fast smoker, so it kind of cools things down, and the creaminess of the ice cream. So mainly, vanilla, French vanilla would be perfect. French vanilla, and then with different flavors like maybe a strawberry or some fudge or some coffee. Like I like Haagen-Dazs coffee is one. Coffee, chocolate, fudge. Yeah, that's another good one. Something with coffee inside, something with chocolate. Some sweetness. Sometimes I like some sweetness, like I like some strawberries or raspberry. I tried. Sometimes I'm in a mood. I'll get a small pint. I'll get a knife and pound it up a bit, and I pour maybe a half jigger of bourbon inside, put it in the freezer, let them sit for a while, take it out. So I get some little bit of bourbon mixed with that French vanilla.
Now I
get
got
a little bit, get a buzz out of it. And then morning time, I get this bad habit with my donuts, my malasadas, my poi donuts, That way I get my breakfast in.
What do you prefer to drink as far as alcohol when you smoke?
Alcohol. All depends. You hang around with Steve. I learned a lot about liquor from Steve. So, bourbon, scotch.
Yeah.
The last time I drank was I like it on the sweet side. I had some Envy the other night. I got some Glenlivet 15, Lagavulin. Noah's Milk will make me. I'm gonna go bed after that one. But I'm not that. I'm still learning too about bourbons and hard liquor like that from the guys I hang around with. So when I was younger, I used to pound. Maybe I used to drink, but those days are like far gone, man. Far gone. I'm glad. I always say I'm blessed to still be alive.
So another thing we were talking about before we went live that I'm curious, and I know a lot of our viewers and listeners would be interested to find out how different it is being a cigar consumer in Hawaii versus being a cigar consumer on the mainland when it comes to, shipping and this and that and availability and places lounges to go sit and smoke a cigar and that kind of thing. So how different is it? Like when you see the way us mainlanders have it,
you guys lucky.
Yeah. So how different is it for being a cigar smoker on the island?
Well, currently cigar smoking in public is not like it was before, like when I first started smoking. I mean, you can smoke pretty much everywhere, anywhere. Nowadays, with all these restrictions, it's very difficult to find a place. But we have some cigar lounges. One that I always recommend people to come when they visit. We have one in downtown Honolulu. It's an outdoor patio bar. Has a good selection of liquor. The Row Bar in Kakako. I mean, guys can hang out. You can bring your own cigars, light up. Got a good selection of liquor. There's a lot of places, a lot of the locals like to hang out. Recently, some restaurants have opened up, like Indochin 1938. It's a little above high-end restaurant, good restaurant, but they have an outdoor area where you can have a cigar, have some cocktails, some drinks. We have some events over there now. We used to have events before at the hotels, but now they kind of clamped down on the cigar events. So a lot of the retailers are looking for spaces where they can host a cigar event. Most of the time, if we get together, our community, the gang will get together. They say, hey, we get now an event, but we're getting together a dozen to maybe 2 dozen guys will show up at somebody's house, and I just hang out. I know there's a group on the Big Island of Hawaii, the Parrots, based out of Hilo. I mean, they get a monthly herf. It runs from maybe a dozen to 25 guys. They get together and smoke. But a lot of times I get messages, and I openly invite people, if they're gonna come visit Hawaii, hey, message me on Facebook, Instagram. Hey, Chris, I'm coming to Hawaii. What's the scoop? Yeah, I'm more than happy to tell you guys. I don't do it too much on social media because I then put a radar on my back. And not that I care, but I put a radar on the places that I recommend people to go to. Because where's the good? People want to smoke in Waikiki. Back in the day, you could. Now it's so overcrowded. It's the biggest on the beach. I mean, there's so much people. Somebody's always going to complain. Not that the cops going to cite you. I've yet to. Get that. I can honestly think that. I don't think there's a time when somebody got cited for smoking on the beach in Waikiki. Usually, the lifeguard, the people at the hotel would say, "Hey, you cannot smoke here." Fine, just move on to another area of the beaches away from the crowd. But in Waikiki, it's very hard. But there are a lot of beautiful beaches on the island, not only on Oahu, but on the neighbor islands. You find a secluded beach. Hey, look around. If you're the first one there, light them up, man. Enjoy the view. If you're there and there's some people, some families, just go away where the wind won't shift and bring it to there and sit down. I make it an annual tradition for every New Year's Eve. Trish and I goes to a beach in town. We watch the sunset on the year.
Nice.
The eve of we have a drink. I light up and we sit for we set up about an hour before sunset. And I light up cigar. We watch the sunset together. It's on a beach, and just you and me and her. And a couple of times in the past, we had some friends show up. Maybe at most maybe 2 or 3 couples. We sit down, we have a drink. We got maybe about 50 feet away would be the lifeguard stand. The guy goes, "Hey, Uncle, how's it going? Happy New Year, bro." And then just hang out. But yeah, if you guys come to Hawaii, just say that it's not as friendly. But if you guys are looking for locations, hit me up. I mean, and I'll tell you what lounges to go and so forth. We got a couple of good, well-stocked brick and mortars like Fujioka's, Tamura's, Tobacco's Hawaii. We got 2 good pop-up. We got Honolulu Cigar Company, Dan, Mia Hurl. He has a pop-up that he has maybe monthly, Thursdays at a bar in Chinatown. He has an event there. And then, and I try to go to as many events as I can. All depends if it doesn't conflict with schedules with my grandnephews or my grandniece or with Trishka something planned. They come first and then, okay, I always ask them, "Hey, what you guys got planned?" Nothing. Okay, I'm going to have this event. And sometimes Trish shows up. Sometimes she liked the community, even though she was an average cigarette smoker, and she kind of quit cold turkey decades ago. But she'll come to the events. She even came with me with 1 year, I think it was 2018. We went to all the barn smokers. She came with me to all the barn smokers, and even I took her to Cigar Safari.
Wow,
that's cool.
That's a busy year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was still on a job too, so I could have. Well, I'm on a job now, so they cannot hit me anyway. But I should fly on their dime. I make sure there's a conference or there's a training I got to do. Okay, how long I got to be there? 1 hour training. Okay, bye, guy. Bye. I'm gone. I'm gone.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So is it time?
I think it might be.
What do you think?
so?
Is it time?
Yeah.
All right, guys. It is now time for this week's Numero de los Muertos. All right. So Chris, if you've seen the show before, well, even if you haven't, I'll tell you what this is all about. Numero de los Muertos is a weird. It's weird. There's just no other way to put it. It's weird. So basically, I'm going to give a number, and you, Chris, along with our viewers in the comments, and Justin and Raul are going to take guesses, play 20 questions to try to decipher what the cause of death was for this number of people that I'm going to give. So here we go.
Well, what's the number?
The number is 10.
Oof.
Every year.
Oof.
10 people every year die from this.
Being eaten by a pig on the islands.
No. No.
Every year, 10.
10 people worldwide every year
Die
from
wearing
this.
a sombrero.
Not a sombrero.
Cinco de Mayo.
It is not sombrero related.
People die
Cinco de
from
Mayo.
this.
It's not Cinco de Mayo related.
Anal funnels.
I don't even want to know what that is.
What about
It's when you have a
Nuru-
funnel.
Ah, no, you got me, guys. 10 people.
Miru gel? I don't know. I don't know what that is.
You don't know what neurogel is?
No.
Oh my God, where you been?
I don't know what Nuru-
Me neither. That sounds good.
Paper cut?
It's not paper cuts.
Oh man. Eating the worm in the tequila?
No, and worms in the mezcal, not
Oh
tequila.
yeah. Death
Yeah.
by Hawaiian shark.
Oh, man.
Falling in a volcano.
Volcano. Yeah, that's a good. No, I don't think so. Not 10.
Is it
Could
Hawaii
be- if I
related?
think,
It's not
Yeah.
Hawaii, really. It's worldwide.
okay, worldwide.
All across the world.
Shark attack while surfing?
Not shark attack.
Not surfing.
Surfing.
Mm.
It is surfing.
It is surfing.
Thomas Darling got it in the comments.
Boom.
On surfing?
It is surfing. So
I was going to say, I was going to say on a
would be-
toilet bowl. You know, having some kind of aneurysm on a toilet bowl.
I thought, and just because surfing is so popular in Hawaii,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, there's a lot of places on earth to surf. And Justin, you know,
Right.
you've spent a lot of time surfing.
Yep.
And I thought it was going to be way higher.
So did I.
And it's
But was it-
actually, it's,
No,
it's
is
10,
it? Go ahead.
10 people per year worldwide on average
Yeah.
die every year from surfing. And it's like the numbers on how many people surf
Mhm.
is really, really high. So
Compared to
it's
the-
actually one of the safer recreational activities you can do on or in the water.
So are those deaths like
Again,
drowning?
too, we got a good thing we didn't clarify, because it could be, you know, you could die from surfing, but how? You know, like
Right. That's what they are.
the body hit you in the head,
Yeah.
you drown,
Yep.
you know, shark
Shark.
attack.
Yeah.
Because we've been getting a lot of shark attacks. Thank God.
Jellyfish stings
It
in the
hasn't
ground.
been anything fatal.
So
But,
it varies. These are all
yeah.
of them, but it varies from drowning.
Right.
It says that's the majority of surfing fatalities are due to
Right.
drowning,
Inexperienced.
caused by head or spine injuries sustained
Yeah.
during a wipeout.
Yep.
Wipe out.
And then others are pre-existing conditions, like if they have
Yeah.
a coronary condition
Yeah.
Right.
while they're on the surfboard.
Caught in a riptide is a good one. Another one.
Yeah. And then the fewest are from the true like big wave surfing, which
Oh, okay.
you know those
Yeah.
are there's because that's because there's so few people who actually are ballsy enough to do the big wave surfing.
And they have everybody like on site right there.
Yeah.
usually with jet skis.
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Crews just in case something does happen at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks, Colin.
So that was that it was
So
surprising
none-
to me because I
none-
thought it was going to be higher.
Yeah, none
Yeah.
by eaten by sharks or by animals
No.
or anything like that.
No, it's
Yeah.
no.
They just
No.
nibble and let them go.
There one of the things that I read said that people on water on non-motorized watercraft like paddle boards and surfboards they actually tend to deter water aquatic predators like sharks. That like if you're on a board like a paddle board or a surfboard, sharks tend to stay away from you more than are attracted to you. So
It's usually in the cold water surfing if you have any attacks like that because you're wearing a wetsuit and you look like
Wow.
a seal or a
You could
walrus.
seal.
Yeah, so they mistake S sometimes is like that's like usually Northern California or somewhere like that.
Yeah. And I know Australia is really popular for surfing also. Indonesia is South Africa.
Yeah, there's some stuff in South Africa.
South Africa also.
So.
Yeah, it seems like the sharks are like in Hawaii, they're moving inland more. I guess because of their, they're predators. So a lot of times the food chain is kind of slim, so they start moving in closer. So in Hawaii, it's been increasing, and of course the media reports it a lot of times too. Also, I know when I was a teenager, I had some close encounters with some. I remember hanging out, body surfing, and I was sitting on a pier, and I was hanging my Churchill fins, and I was hanging my feet over, and was in the water, and something whacked my leg. I was like, what the fuck? Took out my fin, and there was a chunk missing. I was like, whoa, what the hell? I said, okay, time to go home.
Yeah.
And then there was a time I was body surfing. You know how the wave comes up, right? It was at Makapu, and see the wave come up, and you see the shadow comes across. Like, okay, I think I should go back to school. That day, I cut out of school and went body surfing with my buddies, and we said, let's go back to school.
Wow. So that was this week's Numero de los Muertos. All right, let's reveal this week's Spirit of Mystery, brought to us by Postani Cigars. So this was, as you saw before, the interview started, this glass was very, very full. It is not very full anymore. I am not, and I talked about this too. When it comes to drinking stuff neat, for me, it's usually rum, bourbon, or scotch. Tequila is rare that I drink it neat. This is good. It's mild. It doesn't taste high proof. Although I don't think most tequila is high proof. It's got really nice, interesting flavor to it. It's got a little color, so I think it's I don't think it's añejo. I think this is more of a what's the one that's in between? There's Blanco, Reposado. I think this is probably Reposado, rather than añejo. It's a little sweet, but I don't think this one has, like, some tequilas add sweeteners. I don't think this one necessarily has that. I think the sweetness is natural, because agave is, naturally sweet. So I do like it. I don't.
Would you be surprised if I say you have had that before?
I've had this before at your place?
Here on the show last year.
I would be surprised.
I think because we did May, we did tequila May.
We did tequila. Oh, we did.
We did a month.
We did a month tequila.
Yeah. I would be surprised, because that's probably the last time I drank tequila neat was a year ago.
What is
Padrino?
El Padrino.
Does that show up backwards to everybody else or just me? El Padrino.
Añejo.
Tequila, and it is añejo. It doesn't seem dark enough for añejo, but yeah.
I think it's 86 proof.
It's 80 proof.
80? All right.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. This is something I would drink neat regularly. I just need to buy more tequila so I can drink it neat, and put it in the rotation with my scotch and my bourbon and my rum.
Yeah, I think you'd like it.
All right.
I used to love tequila when I drank.
A little too much, maybe?
A little too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into the lightning round, brought to us by J.C. Newman Cigar Company, America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and The American. J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 114-year-old El Reloj cigar factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com. All right. So, Chris, we got some quick, fun, non-cigar related questions for you. First off, If you were about to get into a fight, what would your soundtrack music be?
And soundtrack. Soundtrack. Would be Rocky theme.
Oh, very popular answer. And you can't go wrong.
Rocky's
with
theme.
it. Yeah,
Can't
that's
go
a
wrong.
great answer. You want to hit the
Chris,
this has become one of my favorite questions.
So what's the most overrated and underrated fast food franchise out there?
Overrated is fast food. Fast food overrated is, I think my experience with fast food would be overrated. Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts overrated.
Yeah, I agree with that. The donuts are okay. They're just okay. But like if you ever get one of those, sometimes they have those breakfast sandwiches or whatever. They're terrible. They're terrible. I think they're just warmed up. I think they're frozen and they just warm them up in a microwave.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah. All right, Justin. This is exciting because
wait. What was the underrated?
Oh yeah.
underrated.
Underrated. Yeah, thank you.
Underrated
Yeah.
would be, what's the underrated? Is Jack in a Box.
Okay.
Jack in a Box.
Okay.
I gotta get to a Jack in the Box one of these days. I
Jack
still
in the
never
Box.
had it.
Now they got this thing locally called a Loco Moco burger.
Ooh.
They put an egg, and onion ring and little gravy, but I leave the gravy out. I just want the egg and the meat
Nice.
and the cheese.
Oh,
Yeah.
That sounds so good.
And it's a smash burger also.
Oh.
you're killing me.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Thomas, I agree with you. Spam is underrated.
Oh yeah.
Definitely
Spam
underrated.
is fantastic.
The true Hawaiian pizza. When I go to I there's a pizzeria over here. You order cheese, spam, pineapple. It's a pure Hawaiian pizza, in my opinion.
I might have to try that.
I might have to. I don't like pineapple on pizza, but I would try it if it had
With
spam.
And if you get
Ham.
local Hawaiian chili pepper water,
There you
sprinkle
go.
it on top. They'll give you a kick.
Oh.
Nice.
And is it true that in Hawaii spam is like everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I talking about spam. I just picked up some spam. So there's a bacon flavored spam and spicy. I take two slices of each, put them in a sandwich, grilled cheese sandwich, slap them in between.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
you get this, you get the bacon and you get the spice and you get the cheese, grilled cheese, put in sourdough bread, broke them out.
I'm
That
excited to
that's the
partake.
only because like when I go traveling, I like to go to local places. I don't like to go to chains that I can get anywhere else. But I would go to McDonald's on one of the islands just because as far as I've heard, most of them you can get spam on the breakfast sandwiches. And I would do that just so I could get a McDonald's breakfast sandwich with spam on it. That's the only reason I go to McDonald's in another state is because they've got it there.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta
Gotta get that one with rice, the eggs, the spam, Portuguese sausage, and some link sausage. Then you get a local breakfast.
I don't want to say the only reason I want to go to Hawaii is to eat spam at McDonald's, but it's high up on the list. I'll say that.
All right, Chris, you ready?
Yeah, true.
The zombies are coming. You get to pick 3 people from the cigar industry to be part of your zombie apocalypse survival squad. Who do you pick and why?
One. Steve. I'll pick Steve. Because I can hide behind him and throw me in front of the zombies.
We get that a lot.
Okay. Number 2. I sent my brother, Ronnie Henshaw, from Security Cigar Bar.
Oh boy.
The best is a little freaking Chihuahua pit bull. Set him loose, bro. And because he's short statue, he'll take him out of the knees. But he take him out.
Or he'll talk
And
Or he'll talk him to
Talk
death.
him to
and
death.
then the third one from cigar industry. Who would I take? Yeah, let me see who I take. I take my brother Pedro.
there you
Pedro, the premier El Presidente. He'll be diplomatic, and he'll
That's
talk
right.
these guys down. He'll talk.
That's right.
He'll have say the right thing, and they'll be like,
Okay.
they'll be like, when you put yourself, soak yourself in all the zombie blood and all that. They'll just walk around like. They'll just walk around.
The zombie whisperer.
Yeah, you'll be the zombie whisperer.
I love it. All right, let's do notable smokables for the week. So, Chris, each week on the show, all of us name a cigar that we smoked recently that was notable to us. Now, this could be a cigar that's been on the market for decades, but you've smoked it recently for the first time in a really long time. Or it could be a cigar that's brand new to the market that you smoked for the first time ever. What is something you smoked recently that really stood out to you?
I gotta say the year of the Duque.
Yeah.
I'd be remiss. In all honesty, that really. I'm still like the thing is that the downside about the year of the Duque is that I can't stop smoking it. I gotta hide it someplace, so it make it hard for me to get at it. Notable one second to that would be the Undercrown 10, all decked out, the launch sale. That one.
Yeah. Nice.
That one really, really got me going. I mean, it's again to the sentimental value with Underground juice.
Yeah. Nice.
I mean, there's so many great cigars out there. I mean,
Oh yeah.
And the thing is that sometimes I don't have enough time because I like to dedicate the time to enjoying the cigar. And it's like, okay, I want to try this. So I put it in mental note. I'll take the cigar out. I put it in a dry box. Okay, I'm gonna smoke this one tomorrow for sure. I'm gonna make time for this particular cigar. And then, because there's a lot of good cigars out. A lot of good cigars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only time I get a bad cigar is that mainly because of me. I'm in this funky attitude, and and I try to. Hopefully, this will calm me down. And they usually do. They usually do. But I just don't want to make it a habit of just when I'm bad. You want to enjoy and savor the moment. You want to be something enjoyable, not to because I was bad mood, I had a bad day at work or whatever. But yeah.
Nice. Justy, what's your notable this week?
Going with the Hooten Young Gothic Serpent.
Nice.
Solid cigar, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Solid cigar.
What about you, Raleigh?
Well, our friend Greg Free sent me a little care package for my birthday. And in that care package was his new cigar. Greg motherfucking Free is the name of the cigar.
Is it really? Nice. Nice.
And it was different. It was unique. It's something that's not in his profile. And it's all undisclosed, so we don't know what it is.
Okay.
But it's pretty solid. It was good. I liked it.
Nice. So last week, Randy from Simply Stogies was in town again, and he sent me a text, and we got together and went to a couple cigar shops and ended up at Tobacco Grove, and they had that new Plasencia Alma del Cielo. And it's the blue in the Alma line. And wow. I mean, and both Randy and I got the same cigar, and we're smoking the same cigar at the shop. And both of us looking at each other like, are we crazy, or is this phenomenal?
It's like, where did that one come from?
It's so good.
Gonna have to go get a couple.
So we had the Toro size. They also had the Hex you know.
Yeah.
But we got the Toro size for a smaller ring gauge, and bonkers. So if you're in this local area, there are a few shops that have it. Crazy good. And if you're somewhere else, find a place that's got Plasencia cigars. Both of us were blown away. So yeah, if you find that one on the shelf, definitely give that one a look.
Needless to say that we didn't get a text. Did you get a text?
Oh, I don't think it is. Yeah.
It was
So let's move on.
yeah.
Let's move on.
That wasn't awkward at all. We
It
can.
was meant to be awkward.
All right. All right. Coming attractions. Some cool stuff we have coming up on the next few weeks, next few months of How About That Cigar Live. Next Monday night, May 12th, Stephen Finley, the Chief.
Oh,
So,
my nephew.
very grateful to have him on the show. The week after that, May 19th, is still TBA, working on a couple possibilities. And then we're not going to have a show on the following Monday, which is Memorial Day, which I believe is May 26th.
Wow, it's already Memorial Day.
I know. It
Like,
will
what?
be, yeah.
Oh,
And then basically almost all of June
Hmm.
is scheduled, and even a couple weeks into July are scheduled. So we got
Nice.
a bunch of really great people coming on the show. Some returning guests, some first timers, but yeah, as always, a lot of fun, cool stuff coming up on the next few weeks on How About That Cigar Live. Chris, brother, first of all, thank you so much for being on the show.
Excuse me, before we end this.
Yeah.
May 19th, we got Brandon, excuse me, from Apostate.
Well, I got a couple other irons in the fire on that.
Oh,
so
well, you set me
May
up. I do my job.
May
here.
May 19th is TBA. Maybe Brandon from Apostate. I've got a couple other irons in the fire, possibly burning for May 19th, but we'll see how May 19th goes. Somebody will be on the show on May 19th. I love when this stuff happens.
I love
real
when we
time.
have more guests than we have days for.
Absolutely. Again, Chris, brother, thank you so much for being on the show. It was such an honor talking to you and learning your story.
Yeah.
And we are so grateful, brother. Thank you.
thank you I'm truly humbled. I gotta give a plug to my brother. You
Yeah.
guys seen this coin, right?
Can't see it.
Oh, nice.
That's the one from Brother Abe, the Babner from Smoking. He did
That's
a
awesome.
pre-order. So he made a coin, and then back year
That-
25.
That's cool.
That's
When he first showed me this coin, my wife Trish looked at it. Hey, it looks better than your photograph. But I gotta put a shout out to my brother Abe for creating a commemorative coin for the years of care. I mean,
Love it.
mahalo nui loa, my brother.
So
And mahalo
Chris,
nui out to you guys.
if our viewers and listeners want to follow your cigar journey on social media, what's the best place and best way for them to find you?
I'm at on Facebook. It's Chris Duque. You can see my ugly mug on the profile picture. And then on the same mug is on Instagram. It's at Duke_Kolohi at Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
and you know that
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
if the viewers want to reach out to me and they want to get the 411 about Hawaii, they want to come, they're going to visit, feel free to hit me up, man. And if I got time, I'll hook up with you guys and share a cigar with you guys.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Love
brother. And if you ever get to Minnesota, same offers here, man. Just let us know.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Come in the summertime. You don't want to come in the wintertime. It's a little too cold.
I've been to Minnesota when it's cold.
It only takes
You
once.
you end up being I'll end up being a Hawaiian popsicle.
Well, thanks again,
bro.
brother.
Thank you.
All right, viewers and listeners, thank you guys so much for being the absolute best part of How About That Cigar Live. So grateful for you guys sticking with us on episode 288 for such a fantastic guest interview. And please click on all the big, beautiful buttons.
Yes.
The like button, the follow button,
Are these over there?
the subscribe button. That
one.
You had something.
I'm just noticing 288.
288.
Yeah. So in 12 episodes, we'll hit 300.
300 is coming up.
That's huge.
It's coming up. I know. We're still trying to figure out.
We're gonna party that
We're
night.
still trying to
We're
figure
gonna
out
party
what we're
that
gonna
night.
do for episode 300. But it's coming quicker than we think. So I'm excited for it, even though I have no idea what we're gonna do on the show yet. But
We're gonna have a blast.
It's gonna be a fun time. So and we'll definitely get the word out, making sure as many people can join us as possible to watch that show. So thank you again for watching episode 288. Of course, if you are watching right now live, thank you so much for being with us, whether you are watching live on Facebook, live on YouTube, or live on
Rumble.
And of course, if you are listening after the fact on the audio podcast, thank you so much for making us a part of your regular audio podcast rotation. Don't forget to click on all the big, beautiful buttons, like, share, subscribe, follow, all of those buttons. It makes a big difference, and make sure you don't miss anything we have going on with How About That Cigar Live. Be sure to follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You will find us at HBT Cigar. If you have questions for us, you can email us on the website, howaboutthatcigar.com. And of course, until we see you guys next time, burn cigars,
not bridges.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of premium cigars.